Hi, and welcome to our show today. We've got all kinds of interesting things to show you on our health and wellness tips. And if you're a baker or a cook, you might be very interested in this. But we also have some things for skin and a couple of books you might be interested in. But first, I want to introduce you to our co-hosts, which are Dr. Rindy Coker, and she's right here. And this is her office, as a matter of fact, that we're doing remotely here. So thank you. And tell us where your office is and the name of it.
Okay. I'm Dr. Rindy Coker, the Center for Natural Therapy. I'm in Villa Park, Illinois, on St. Charles Road, 130 East St. Charles.
And there's a dentist sign on your building if they're looking for you.
Right. You look for the big yellow sign that says dentist.
Okay.
He's my neighbor, and he's awesome.
And there's parking in the back if you want to come here. It's easy parking. And then we have Gloria Holland. She's our consumer advocate.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for joining us. And let's start with what you have in front of you, because they were sent here for us to show what exists, and they're like a product that you might show. And then we'll show these big bags.
Well, with so many people having food sensitivities and doing gluten-free or no wheat, what we have here are some sunflower flour, if you will, which is a very nice consistency, kind of the color of brown sugar. And then we have the actual sunflower seeds that are used to derive some of these products that Karen's going to show you. And I think everyone's familiar with the seeds from eating them.
Well, I want to talk about this first of all because it's gluten-free pancake and waffle mix. I myself have a gluten intolerance when I was tested for it years ago at the Pfeiffer Clinic. And I noticed the difference when I eat gluten-free. I don't have pains and I don't have to come to Dr. Rindy Coker then. But when I eat these things, it does aggravate your system. So that might be your problem too. And I'm very excited about all the flavors that this comes in. And I think you have I gave you the card of the CEO. We have Karon as the PhD, not me, another Karon, and it's called Think, Eat Alive. And it says that they have a different way of thinking about gluten-free. We believe you should be able to eat all the foods you love without sacrificing taste or nutrition. It comes with our sunflower seed-based flour, Mother Nature's perfect balance of protein, fiber, and monounsaturated fats. Or sunflower keeps you full longer and sustains your energy. Then you'd never know you're gluten-free because you can eat all these things. Now, you, Dr. Coker, was saying that you talk to people a lot about this, and then I'll come back and show them the flavors. Okay. What do you tell people about this?
What I tell people, actually, when people come in and we find that they're gluten intolerant, or a lot of people just want to see what happens if they stop eating wheat and the other gluten grains, a lot of the products that are currently on the market are other starches that are even more highly processed than wheat. It's usually corn and rice and things that raise your blood sugar even quicker than wheat. So something like this that is a sunflower seed, some people have nut allergies, but they can still eat seeds. So something like this would convert to sugar slower and would give you more of a sense of fullness than some of the other substitutes out there.
Well, this
this would be really interesting to try.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how
Think,
these come
eat,
out.
and live. Think,
That's
eat,
what
and
we
live.
all want to do. Think,
Eat,
eat, live.
love,
Think, live,
laugh.
eat, love.
Yeah.
Eat
and
to
dance.
live
and
to
dance,
eat,
right?
But I did love all the different things that they offer
Well,
there,
they got
Karen.
the brownie. Then they have the sunflower seed flour, which I guess you could make anything out of
Whatever you
that. And you're the cook here, so you tell us.
Yeah,
the
we gotta
pizza
see how
crust.
this
There's a
works.
pizza crust. And then we have the natural pancake and waffle mix. And then there is another sunflower bar and cookie. And then we have, lastly, the brownie. It's a double. I think it's a
Brownies.
different
Let's
brownie.
not forget about the
Grain-free
brownies.
brownie and gluten-free muffins. So you have choices of a lot of different things, and it seems like these recipes are pretty simple. Like this one is 2 eggs, 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and a half a cup of melted butter. You just whisk the eggs in the brownie mix, put it in a greased pan, put it in 350 in your oven for 30 minutes, and you're done. So it's very unique, and I guess you could really notice this on the store shelves. If not, you can look it up and see where Think Eat Live is sold.
It's thinkeatlive.com, so that would probably be the best place to get it. But the nice thing is when you're transitioning to this kind of diet, you're going to feel so, neglected or poor me, I can't eat pancakes. And this gives you something you could quickly add from your, pantry and mix up and have muffins or pancakes, so you're not feeling so deprived.
And this is like 15 carbohydrates, it says, for a serving of a brownie. That's not bad.
Which that actually is not bad for
No,
a brownie.
no,
at
it
all.
isn't.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to go to something else that I know people love. They make these Old Trapper original beef and cheese beef jerky. And I'm telling you that this exists because it's supposed to taste very good. I don't know for sure, but it's a nice beef and cheese. And I don't know whether people usually buy these together and eat them or what. Are you familiar with this at all?
No, I'm not, but I would think with that nice little size, it's a perfect little stocking
Right.
stuffer too to get for people.
Good.
If
And
you're-
it's Old Trapper original beef and cheese.
I've not seen them sold together like that.
No, I haven't either. I think that's a unique thing. Yeah. Okay, then we have this, and this is the world's best Parmesan. Now, I ordered this because I saw it advertised, and it came in garlicky green Parma vegan Parmesan. Soy-free, plant-based, gluten-free, GMO-free, kosher, soy-free, and superfood. And this is the one that really caught my attention, better than bacon. Again, plant-based, gluten-free, paleo, GMO, kosher, soy-free, and superfood. They have a recipe here for a creamy artichoke dip, your favorite vegan mayo, artichoke hearts, green chilies, a small bottle of Parma, black olives, 2 garlic cloves, crushed mince, and sea salt. Now, sea salt we happen to have here,
We do
as a
have
matter of
We
fact.
do.
there.
And this is a special kind of sea salt. Tell us about this.
All right, this is sea salt from Colima, Mexico, harvested from La Laguna de, I'm sorry guys,
Is it
Coyoacán?
Mexican?
It's Mexican, yes. Okay, so it's where the Aztecs traded for their salt. And salt, natural salt is amazing because it's balanced. It has all the trace minerals that our bodies need. It's not just sodium chloride. And they recommend that you even just taste this salt. Good salt can really add to your cooking. And most of the time when they're talking about eat less salt, it's in the processed foods that have been overly salted. What you add to your own meals usually doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but it really helps the flavor. So, gosh.
And pepper. I think
Yeah.
pepper
Salt and
also is
pepper, right.
underused. But
Well, and here they have a thing for slaw, which I'm back to my Parmesan here. 2 carrots, vegan mayo, apple cider vinegar, which is good for you, juice of 1 lime, half to 1 cup of Parma, and maple syrup, or a few drops of stevia to taste. Salt and pepper to taste for slaw. Yeah, I can't wait to try this. I didn't open this up, but I happened to notice these on the internet, and they had a special deal for all these
Karen,
different
I'm
kinds.
laughing because usually you open everything up and try it before we show it and discuss it.
I didn't
so
get
this
a
will be a new
chance.
thing.
I didn't get a chance, but I'm
I
sure
know
it's
it
good.
looks good, actually.
Okay, so we have to talk. I just want to see if there's anything else we should say. The Colima sea salt. And also you can go to info at, oh boy, I got to spell this one. You got better eyes on the back. Info
let
at
me see.
Owajika.
Made by hand in Mexico, and it's unrefined sea salt. And it's info at avajaneskitchen.com.
Is that Ava, A-V-A?
AVA.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. info@avajaneskitchen.com. And they're local right here in Carrollton, Texas. Well, that's
That's
not
not too
local.
local.
That's not local. I used to live in Texas, so I was thinking you forgot where you're at.
I did. I thought you were going to say Carol Stream there.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about this retinol. I'm told that it's very good to put on your face. I've used it in some other products, not in this one. I decided to get this one because it seemed very interesting, that it has active retinol and vitamin E and green tea in it. So Maybach's makes that. I can't wait to try that. I have to try and look younger here.
Well, there's green tea in a lot of facial things now, so there's some good natural ingredients in that.
And this Stem Cellular CC cream corrector, but it's like French on here, Sun Kiss Glow, broad spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen. So that's also another
But
interesting
usually a
product.
BB cream has a color in it.
Right. I love CC creams. That's really, there's the beauty bombs and the CC. So this should be like,
Juice Beauty.
yeah,
Juice Beauty.
that it can actually, it is. This can act as a light foundation. Yeah, I really love the color corrector cream.
The Organic Solution by Juice Beauty.
Oh, and it's got aloe and coconut oil and all kinds of juices.
Yeah, I see
And
these
mineral
things,
based.
and I can't help but get them.
I know, Karen, I would have to.
But you remember, Karen, what someone told me, you know, we all have a tendency to buy these things. They
Yeah.
don't do any good sitting on the shelf or down under the
It's
sink.
not gonna, because I need
You've
it.
actually got to put all this stuff on and develop the
SPF,
regimen.
and they have a sports sunscreen too, made by Juice Beauty.
I like the sports sunscreens because, you know, oftentimes you put it on in the morning and you're out running around. 4 or 5 hours later, you haven't reapplied. So the sport does seem to stay on longer
think so,
and
huh?
give you more protection.
Okay, are you going to explain this to us?
Are we
Randy
going
was
to go
gonna do
here?
that.
Okay, so this is interesting. This is called the Alexa Lito Plus nasal stent. And it's for, it says the treatment of decreased nasal breathing. How many people do you know that are chronically stuffy
And sniffling,
and sniffling
draining.
and draining and have sinus problems, and there's even some surgeries and things that people are doing to try to correct this. This, okay, you need a prescription from your doctor, and your doctor teaches you how to do this, but there's a little, it's a stent. Don't let this scare you now, it's small.
I know of someone that is always having a problem with
Yeah.
that, and I'm thinking,
Yeah,
It would be
so
great for him.
these little guys go in your nose.
Oh, it's like a little mesh.
It's like a little mesh, and it probably helps
now
things.
this is not for you to put in yourself.
No.
This is for a doctor to put
but
in.
this is something.
So it's
wanna
like
hold
a
this
stent
up.
that they would use in
to
your
hold-
blood
yeah,
vessel if
right,
you have a blockage
to hold
or something.
open, yeah.
So you might want to
So-
mention this to
to
your
your
doctor.
doctor.
And what is this, a spray?
It's a Laxolito, and that,
Wound spray.
yeah, that probably just helps clean when you put
So this is not something that you leave in. This is something you put in temporarily to open up your nasal passage?
It looks like that's what it is.
I think you could leave it in.
No. You think?
3 scopes of delivery.
Well, it says allowed period of use maximum 18 months.
Yeah,
Oh, my.
this is a
Okay.
leading
Yeah,
product.
but if you've got
If you're having trouble
swollen-
breathing and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff,
if you have swollen nasal passages,
Especially if you, an alternative to surgery,
Yeah.
it's always good to look at other options before you resort to that.
well, I don't know how many doctors have this yet, but I think it'd be a great idea. And I'm in particular going to give it to a gentleman that I know to take to his doctor because he has had problems, nasal problems, for most of his life. And this might be the answer.
Yeah. And this is out of Germany, and sometimes they have very cutting-edge health products coming out
yeah,
of
they
Germany.
get things
things.
So
before
it's
we do.
Alaxolito is the name of it if you decide to discuss it with your family doctor.
And here we have Quiet the Storm. And this is made by, I'm going to give you everything. I don't have my glasses on. And
All right. Quiet the Storm Skin Calming Salve. So maybe for people that have a little skin irritation or something.
Well, it might be too when you get a bug bite or
scrapes,
something.
minor burns, eczema, chafed skin, insect bites, diaper rash.
It smells very light, almost like a natural
lemon.
bee type of thing, or bee
Or like a
balm
lemon?
or something.
Yeah, it's coconut. Yeah, calendula. I love calendula and sea
Why-
buckthorn.
why
Sea
do you love
buckthorn is
calendula?
it's just one of those natural soothing things that I keep calendula cream on hand at home to
you?
use for skin. And I actually just planted a couple of calendula seeds in my little pot over there. So we'll see if they start to come up
So,
at this
as a
time.
natural product, do you just take the leaf and crush it and then use it?
No, generally you put it in some sort of carrier.
Okay.
Whether, coconut oil, usually there's some sort, like this one has the olive oil.
Okay. Yeah,
But yeah, it's
a
very,
nice-
very not highly fragranced like so
Feels
many
good
of
on
these
your
other
lips, too.
ones. But very nice.
Okay, ladies. How about those books over there?
All right.
wanna
Well,
forget
let's
'em.
see what we have here. Let's hand a few of these around, Karen.
This is the Codependent Discovery Recovery 2.0, a holistic approach to healing and freeing yourself. Let me hold this up. Learn how to overcome codependency and reinvent yourself in a positive, powerful way. Codependency can run deep within us and take control of our relationships until the patterns become so entrenched that we feel helpless and unable to overcome them no matter how hard we try. This will show you what motivates your codependency and teach you how to overcome toxic thinking and behavior associated with it by using evidence-based techniques of healing, including meditation, affirmation, and child healing exercises, or they can come to you and find all these things out. Rather than learning how to say no to others, you'll learn how to say yes to yourself and form healthy reciprocal relationships. This is by Mary Joyce, LMHC, a licensed mental health counselor. She approaches it from a holistic and well-rounded perspective that enables people to choose a path of empowerment and enlightenment. Okay, so you know about that one. Now, what else do you have?
Okay, I have From Burning Out to Burning Bright. And this is written by Jennifer Marcinell. And a lot of people have been struggling lately. So this one, do you have insomnia? What a lot of people have going on is the thoughts that are just running through your heads. It's the old programming that we've had for so long that it's just hard to move past. So she has techniques in this book to help you understand what's going on and move past it. So as you're thinking better thoughts about yourself, you can actually work better with your relationships, with your job, your families, just everything going on in the world is based on how you're responding to what's
This
going
is
on in your
particularly
head.
good, I think, for doctors and nurses right now because they are burning out, as they say. And I am one, and I can imagine that they are because they're overworked and people are leaving the profession or people are taking off, and it's causing a big staff shortage, too.
Mm-hmm.
It says burnout has reached epidemic proportions. Modern medicine doesn't have the answer, so this could be the answer for you. If you have any exhaustion, insomnia, or running thoughts like you're talking about, emotional outbursts, pessimism, or feeling like modern medicine does not have the answer, this does. Okay, Gloria.
And I have a book here called Life in the Grocery Line.
I think
And
that's hysterical.
this is very interesting. It's by a young man that started working at Adam Jonathan Catt, K-A-A-T, that started working in a grocery store a week before COVID hit. And of course, he went in with one idea in his head, and soon after, the world was turned upside down, and people that just showed up for work in a grocery store or are garbage men or whatever we had a totally different outlook and appreciation for these people that we had to deal with every day to make our lives easier. And I think now with the shortage of workers everywhere, we realize how important it is to have all these people doing their jobs to make our lives easier. But it certainly gives you a different outlook on some of the things that he encountered as COVID became a reality. Very interesting. I think that would be a good book.
Can I see that for a moment?
Life in the Grocery Line. We need to write a book as the people standing in the line as opposed to just the person trying
or
to
sitting
be
on
the
a rider
chipper.
when I injure my knee.
Yeah.
It's like, on his first day as a cashier at Dream Grocers, Daniel imagined the worst he'd have to deal with in the job was an occasional grumpy customer and long days on his feet. But in 1 week's time, reality changes as COVID hits. Now he's suddenly being called a hero just for showing up at his job, and he isn't sure how to feel about that. The uncertainty and paranoia around the virus spread rapidly. He tries to stay afloat and not let the irate hordes of customers bring him down. He learns more than ever to be expected about humanity's response to fear, observing most prominently this way, some people look down on the very workers that are essential. Yeah, you got to thank all the workers for showing up. And I always wonder why they make them stand in the grocery stores and stuff, because there is one grocery store that's out of Germany, I think, and they let them sit on stools, the cashiers. And I talked to a vein doctor one day. I said, "What's the worst thing you can do to your veins?" He said, "Standing all the time." You would think that wasn't. But
And that goes for all retail people that
Right.
that we take for granted, and they're on their feet 8 hours, 10 hours a day, and that's tough.
Now you got something there, just a little something about vinegar. I didn't bring any, but there's so many good things said about apple cider vinegar.
Well,
and
it's
vinegar.
I love vinegar. This is just a little pamphlet that came out. Vinegar can do what? And I use vinegar for so many things. Cleaning out drains.
I was gonna say, I didn't know
there's-
about-
And Rindy knows too. She has so many natural things that I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
vinegar is good for.
Yeah,
And it's not toxic. We can't forget about the old curatives and the old things that we used to use. They
Yeah.
still work.
it's great for cleaning your vegetables,
Yep.
salad dressing,
So that's a
Digestion.
very good thing to look at. And there's quite a few books out and helpful hints. But just a reminder, don't forget about vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar even comes in capsules that I take sometimes because I've read so much about it being so good for digestion.
And here's one more book, Karen, that we came across that I think you should address.
Oh, this is my own book, On Our Own. It was originally published by St. Martin's Press in New York, and then it was republished in paperback by Avon Paperback. They changed the name to Nurses on Our Own. And it's pretty interesting because it covers everything in my life, just about, not till now, because I have a sequel, but Joy Catterson and I developed the first independent nursing practice ever in the United States to fill the healthcare gap for the middle class, do home care, and have an office as nurses where people could come in and ask us questions, and they did. They would be discharged from the hospital and come in and say, "I can't read this nutritionist thing, I can't read these orders, I don't know about this medicine," and we would go over many things with them. And many of them not only got well, but they lost a lot of weight, and I wish I had kept the notes on all of that because I could have used them myself. But it's our personal and professional story. We ended up, because we started that and got so much publicity, that the hospital we worked for, director of nursing, got jealous about it. And as we went to give a speech, she didn't want to be in the audience. So she called us in and terminated us from our positions, even with excellent evaluations, with raises, with everything that we had. So we were forced to take them to federal court. And they did, on the court steps, settle. And it was a very interesting experience, and it was the best thing that ever happened to us because it forced us into doing that on a full-time basis. Otherwise, I'd still be at the hospital, and I wouldn't have even gotten a gold watch, I bet. So that's it.
And it's hard to believe now because women are everywhere and have their own
But
businesses.
you know what?
But being the first to do that, Karen, was
And you know what, nurses still, because a lot of nurses only want to work 1 or 2 days a week. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to, and we didn't rock the boat. We did nothing at work that was in any conflict with our business. because we did movie set consulting at our business. We worked in psychiatry at the hospital. I was an ER nurse first and then psychiatry. There was no conflict. We even asked for permission. But when she got upset about hearing us speak and her be in the audience, that was the end of it. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Best. Not at the moment, it wasn't. Because you would assume that nurses hurt somebody if they were terminated, which was not true at all. We were the best advocates ever. So we had a grand time. But I want to tell you a story about this because they say you can never get your story published by a major publisher. And I don't know if I've either told you two the story. I called up a major publisher, St. Martin's Press in New York, and I said, I want to speak to the chief editor. And a man answered the phone, and I said, who are you? Because you never could get a chief editor. You never could do anything with a major publisher. He said, I'm the chief editor. Who'd you ask for? I said, I asked for you, but I didn't think you'd answer the phone. He said, well, what have you got? So I said, well, I have this book, and we've done the chapters, and Patricia Skalka is a writer. She had written a book on skiing, and I had her help us in case charting had ruined my ability to write, because you do much different on charting. And he said, well, tell me about your story. So I told him. He said, do you have a readership of one, like everyone who calls me? I said, no, I have a guaranteed 2 people. He said, well, I'll tell you what. Send me a chapter, your best chapter, not your first, not your last, but your best chapter and an outline. Send it to me, and I will look it over and call me on Thursday. So I did. I told my husband about it. My husband always believed I'd have a book because I had kept notes since nursing school about all the bittersweet situations I was in other people's lives, and he was the only one who believed it. So I said, I have to call this man on Thursday. He said, oh, that's great. Well, I called him on Thursday morning. It was 7:30 in the morning, and he said, we do everything here by votes, but I am the chief editor, so I had a lot of votes. We're going to buy your book. We're going to send you on a publicity tour. So I went and told my husband, and he says, I don't believe it. I said, you always said it was going to happen. He said, but I never believed it. So, and it did come out. We did go on a very interesting publicity tour. And there will be a sequel, but I'm going to name it Balloons and Band-Aids. Because of my future work after this, the ER, the psych, the home care, the movie sets and everything. But there were more movie sets. There was Old Chicago Amusement Park, occupational health at many companies, CBS, NBC, Encyclopedia Britannica, and everything else. So that will be even more interesting. But this is pretty interesting too. And that's my story about how you do that. Mm-hmm. And so if you have a book in you, don't hesitate to find a way to submit it and think nobody ever can.
And I think this also shows, with Karon, we forget how much experience that you've had and what a long career you've had in doing so many diverse things.
It's been a long one.
Yeah,
My husband said, don't tell everybody everything you did, they won't believe you. I said, well, I've had a lot of time to do it.
Thanks for sharing your book.
But it's been very enjoyable, I'll tell you, the whole career. And I would suggest that anybody go into nursing, because you could, one day you could be at CBS, the next day you could be taking care of an ill patient or delivering a baby. And that's all I have to say about it, because we're out of time. So thank you, Gloria, Rindy, Dr. Rindy, thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Thank you, bye.